guys, it's Madeline with Eclectic, and I'm making this video today because I did not put any divine guidance messages out this week since there is so much going on with the astrology, and I am going to pull cards for us today. But I just wanted to share a little bit about like 3 of the major factors that are happening in the stars right now. So first one being the longest influence, that is the nodes have changed signs. It's interesting because I wasn't paying much attention to that at all. And in the last, Beltane just passed, I talked about polarity in that post because it's been such a huge theme in my life, like just spirit speaking to me. So I've been hearing it in my brain. I've been really observing it, and it's been coming to my attention. So just mindful about polarities. And then before that, last week's video, I was talking about polarity as well. And maybe even before that. So anyway, point being, the north and the south node are literally that. They're the polarities like of Earth and in the signs as well. So we're coming out of the Cancer Capricorn and we're going into the Gemini Sagittarius. So a lot of shifting happening. I'm just lightly touching on this. If you guys want to know more about that, I really encourage you to do your own research on it or message me and we can talk a little bit deeper about it. But just quickly, we're coming out of Cancer as the north node and going into Gemini, so water to air. So there's going to be a lot more action happening. Coming out of this space of, I would say Cancer is more of an intuitive feeling, kind of heart space sign, moving into Gemini now with the air, which is very active. You know, Mercury rules Gemini, so communications, marketing, business, all those types of things, building, and very creative. Gemini energy is also super creative because it is so quickly moving in the mind, in the mental energy, that a lot of creativity can come from this space. So that's going to help us, I think, coming up here. I'll maybe touch a little bit more on that. But also, if you want to know where this is happening in your chart, like in your life, if you know your time of birth, look up your rising sign, and then it'll tell you where the nodes are shifting. It's going to Gemini, but what house Gemini occupies in your own natal chart, it's going to tell you a lot about how your life and your focus is going to change. That also happened to me. I all of a sudden found myself totally focusing on other things, and all of a sudden all of my values and wants kind of were shifting, and I was like, what is happening? And Venus retrograde has something to do with that also. I will get into that, but just know that it is shifting. And for me, I'm now in the 4th house. Gemini is the ruler of my 4th house, and that has to do with home and family and all that stuff. So it's interesting. We got out of Cancer, which is my 5th house, and went into Gemini, my 4th house, but it's still like a Cancerian house. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, but if you want to know more, you can message me or you can Google it yourself, but I'm just letting you know that is a huge shift for everybody right now collectively, and it lasts for about 1.5 years. Okay, so that just happened yesterday. And then as well, we are hitting retrograde season. So we have 3 planets going to retrograde or are in retrograde. So they are Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus. Hey. Gentle. So, this is like we're really entering this huge reevaluate period. So all of this is such divine timing as far as the pandemic goes. And now, you know, you see things slowly starting, you know, states reopening, the world's kind of like tiptoeing out of this, you know, stage that we've been in. And it's really this great opportunity now to kind of take this time to really review. Like people say, for retrogrades, it's like all the words. So review, reform, redirect. You know, you're going back and you're kind of making adjustments to things. You're changing your perspective a little bit. That's going to help because as this node energy changes, now we're going to be able to take what we learned from these retrogrades after this whole period that we've just experienced. Now we get to do the reviewing part, the retrograde part, learning from that. So you think, I think it's like 3 weeks to the longest one, I think is like 4 months. So anyway, I'm gonna say like through the end of August, we're gonna be like kind of reviewing things. Come September, we will see where we're at. But with the North Node now in Gemini, I think this is such a good period to be able to review. Everybody kind of gets their alignment right, like with what they want and their desires and their values. And then with that node switch, now that North Node's in Gemini, we're going to be really able to create something, to be able to communicate something, to market our ideas, to really start building from this mental space of what we've learned, okay? So now with all that being said, we also have the full moon in Scorpio coming up. It's a super moon. I think it's the last one of the year. And wow, I mean, all of this is just crazy. I know that so much has been happening in people's lives around me. Like just like all of a sudden unexpected changes have been happening, and they're fine. They're good, you know? And with this full moon in Scorpio, last supermoon, I really feel like this is the time when, because Scorpio is the planet of destruction, the you know, it's really the sign that will go into the deepest like depths of their soul to figure out, and like their shadow selves. So I feel like with this full moon in Scorpio now, it's like, okay, we've had all this time, it's really illuminating all of our abilities to kind of transcend and transform our shadow selves into seeing what we would like to see from ourselves and from the world. I also have notes here on my computer. Mallory, watch out, please. So I might be like looking here and there. So yeah, it's really like Scorpio is like the death card in the tarot. So can you not do that, please?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Mallory, please don't. Okay? Or else you're gonna have to go somewhere else. Okay, thank you. So, what was I trying to say? Oh, it's the death card in the tarot. So the transformation possibilities here are just huge. I mean, like as far as us as individuals, collectively, this is a lot of energy, and how we use the energy is always up to us. It's always free will, but the energy is there to be taken, to be used for our advantage. So I don't know, I mean, I feel like pretty fired up lately. A lot of things have changed for me. It's like this feeling of like we're doing the same things like day to day, but where our energy is, our perspective, our intentions, they are different. They're evolving, they're growing, they're changing a little bit, they're becoming more refined. And with that, even if we're doing the same things day to day, if we have changed all of that within us, the timelines and our own individual lives and pathways and lessons are also lining up and changing right now. That's how I feel. It's like I might be doing the same thing every day right now, being home, but now like this vision for the future of the world and the future of my own life has completely shifted. During this time, a lot of people, like it's being said over and over, you know, they've gotten to review what is really valuable to us, what we can live with, what we can live without, where we've been spending too much of our energy and time, and where we maybe haven't been spending enough. And that is such valuable information. I mean, that changes the whole course of your life if you're able to really have that time to dig deep and transform it. And I feel like this full moon is kind of that last process, like, okay, here it is. What are you going to do with it now? You know, moving forward, okay, now we have all these retrogrades. Let's see how that affects everything, and let's do our work there. And then North Node Gemini, let's start talking about it. Let's get marketing. Let's get these ideas going. You know, businesses, what can we do? What can we create to actually push forward these ideals that we now have for our own lives and for the collective? So there's a lot going on. And the retrogrades, I want to get into that more too, but I feel like that's such a long video. I just want you to know that 3 planets are retrograding. I said it, Jupiter, Saturn, Venus. It's really in your own chart, okay? Like what is going to happen. Saturn retrograde, you know, he's the father. He's patriarchy. He's rules, discipline, lessons through hard work. He's wrapping up a cycle. He's about to hit Aquarius pretty soon. He's retrograding back into Capricorn right now. He'll be in Aquarius. So people that are my age, we're hitting our Saturn return coming up. He'll actually like be there for real December for a couple years. But really looking at some of those harder lessons that we've been going through the last couple of years, what we've been learning about that. And like I said, how that affects you depends on your chart. Jupiter going into retrograde, it's kind of like Jupiter's the planet of expansion. So I see this as a time of kind of pulling back a little bit because he's like working with almost, I intuitively feel, Saturn and Venus. Venus is like the planet of, beauty, all this stuff, but it's also the planet of like money, morals, values, what you find happiness and peace and luxury in and all that stuff. So it's like a lot of reviewing our values, a lot of reviewing the lessons that we've gone over. What have we really learned the last 2 years? And then when all of these start going direct in Jupiter too, it's like, okay, now all this energy is going to be put back out, and what we create of it with that North Node in Gemini is limitless. So honey, that's a little loud right now. Do you see I'm trying to talk? Okay, maybe can you take it outside? That's a good idea. Okay, if you don't take it outside, I'm gonna turn it off. Okay, so let's get into the cards. I'm gonna do some shuffling. And like I said, if you guys are a little bit more interested in astrology or need help with your chart, I am totally willing to help you guys out with that. Let me just make sure I hit my notes. Oh, and I did write too that people now, like with the states and everything opening, people are going to try to like go back to how things were. Like they're just going to think like, okay, I'll just go back to how it was before. It's not going to be like that. No matter how much people try to like go back and just do the daily grind and back to their life, no. Things have shifted dramatically, and there isn't going to be going back and rebuilding of the same structures. There's going to be differences happening here. I put changes set in motion. Reform will be kick-started collectively and personally. Yeah, okay. So what do we want to do first? Okay, I'm getting called to do the Wicca Oracle first. Okay, so we just cleanse our space, and I ask Spirit to come in, give the messages most needed for the collective right now, for our highest and greatest good, in perfect comfort and alignment. Okay, let's see what we get here. And I have the little booklet. Spirit is most needed right now for the collective. I feel like it's this card. Okay. Standing stone. Has like glitter on it, so you can't really see. I'm gonna tell you right now, this means that we're exactly where we're supposed to be right now, but let me read the actual book explanation to give us some more understanding here. Standing stone. The great stones erected so long ago may have purposes that have been lost through the ages, yet their power is undeniable. They are symbols of our connection to ancient wisdom and of the eternal truths that are there for the sincere seeker. The stone's carving shows a knot with no beginning and no end. So it is with the sacred mysteries. We are inseparable from the interweaving cycles of time, at one with the earth, sea, and sky. Meaning, you are exactly where you need to be, attuned with the elemental forces and in balance with them. Take a moment to take stock of your surroundings, to find a fixed point on your life's path, a touchstone, so that you can return to that when you are feeling less than sure of yourself. Taking stock That has a lot to do with retrogrades. When we retrograde, that's kind of what we're doing. We're taking stock about what we've been through, where we're at, and where we want to go, right? So this fits in pretty well here. Keywords: wisdom, time, solidity, affirmation. I am part of the timeline of the ages. What legacy will you leave? Okay, so that's the first card there. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, Moonology Oracle. Looking for the message that's most needed for the collective right now. Our highest and greatest good. Okay. I feel like I need to shuffle these. So funny, it's like I never shuffle the cards the same way. There's always something else coming out. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Come on. Yeah. Okay. All right, Spirit. Let's get a card out for the collective. What do we most need to know? Our highest and greatest good. What are our messages today for the group of people that watch? What is it we most need to know? Another one. Okay. It's time to release negativity. Oh wow, full moon in Scorpio. I didn't even notice that. It's time to release negativity. So full moon in Scorpio. This transformation that we talked about. It's such destructive energy, willing to go into the deepest, darkest parts of your soul. Release all the negativity. This full moon is going to shine a light on the things that are lurking there. And we have the power. And I think, honestly, for some of us, pretty easily, like, we already know what we want to get rid of. Like, we're on this, like, next thing. We're like, okay, cool, got it. Next one. Like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know if it's like the nodes in Gemini, because I have Gemini, a lot of air in my chart. But it's weird because simultaneously at the same time that I do still feel like there's a slowdown, there's a very obvious energy about things picking up and like this bubbling of excitement coming. So it's time to release negativity. With this moon, it's going to highlight everything and just let it go. Write it down, burn it, whatever you need to do, whatever works for you. Let it go. Take time to breathe out. I've never actually pulled this card in this deck, so I actually want to read about it. That's not the right thing. Okay. Shh, please. I love your beautiful scene. If I can find it. Well, let's read the full moon in Scorpio a little bit. Yeah. If you, shh, they have to be able to hear, okay? Okay. If you've been feeling paranoid or acting weird, take this card as a direct message from the cosmos to stop it. Stop worrying yourself. Worrying yourself is pointless. It's time to release that negativity around the situation. It's extremely intense times, you know, highly emotional times. It's time for you to feel all of those feelings. That moon is going to highlight everything that's been just stuck in that closet and just feel it out and then release it. This is like one of the, I just feel like it's one of those last things this year. If you really want to move into this cycle, the best person that you can be, release that shit, okay? Move away from anyone or any situation that you find toxic. Yes, it's not just about emotions, it's about clearing out your space, like quite literally as well. And then emote, okay, so feel it out. Yep, okay. So basically what I was saying. And then, oh, the other one. Okay. So the disseminating moon is the part of the moon right after the full moon, when the moon starts to wane. It's that part of the moon, okay? Oh, you can't see it. Okay, there you go. So we get the full moon in Scorpio, which is quite literally the moon that is happening. And then this energy here, which is the energy right after the full moon. I just love this. I love this. Okay, it says time to breathe out. The intensity of the full moon has abated. And what are we left with? That's what this card is asking you. It suggests that the situation you're asking about has now peaked, and it's time for you to regroup, there's that re-word, and learn from your experiences rather than blindly forging ahead. This retrograde season is going to help us so much with that, you guys. And it's like giving me chills how much this is all playing into what is going on right now. Have faith that what is happening is for the best. Try to accept the way that things are now and give yourself and others time to relax, breathe. We can't be on all the time. If you feel you've hit an obstacle or even failed in some way, now is the time to reflect on how, there's the reflect, re-word. Reflect on how to do things differently next time. Be honest with yourself, and if you feel bad about your current situation, then remind yourself that life goes in cycles. Attune to the moon, it says, I am where I am, and it's okay. Okay? This moon phase is after the explosion of energy that comes with the full moon. It suggests that you are at a more calm point now in life cycle. This is not an ideal time to start something new. It's time to breathe out. Give yourself some time off, okay? So, knowing where we are with this standing stone, knowing that we're at where we need to be, that it's time to release negativity with this full moon in Scorpio. Let's really clear it out. Once and for all, let's clear it out, and then let's relax a little bit and know that and have faith that we're right where we need to be, that we did the work. Remember the joys in life as well, and take this retrograde time to relax, to just keep being mindful and aware of where your heart's at, where your thoughts are, because there is going to be a whole new cycle happening, I want to say around August. I don't know, that's how I'm feeling. Okay, so with these cards, oh, can I have that one, baby? I'm going to shuffle, okay? So with these cards out, let's see if there's any more messages with the tarot that want to come through. Spirit, we ask for, okay, the Tower, falling down of old structures, okay? This is literally what is happening right now. But it's a good thing. Their tower is burning down, and it's going to be rebuilt, okay? We are definitely all going through this moment right now. I don't know. I've done readings for myself, and in the future position, it was the Tower, and I feel like now, like, this is where I'm at. So it's probably time for myself to do another reading, but old structures coming down. I don't see this as being, like, a super fast, scary actual thing. This is a major Arcana card, so it's the larger themes, and the Tower can sometimes be sudden change, but just right now I just don't really feel like that. We might get like some sudden, like, unexpected news, but I don't see it like being such a fast acting thing. I just think that the energy in general is very transformative, especially with Scorpio. Like I said, there is a death element to the Tower. Something is coming down to be rebuilt, okay? Let's keep going here. Thank you, Spirit. Let's get some more messages here. I just got the message, let them know, don't be scared. So don't get into fear. This is not a scary thing. Like, people get the Death card and the Tower card, and they automatically think, like, that's the worst thing you could get in the deck, and it's really not. It's really like the beginning of something beautiful and new, okay? So keep in mind, you have to pull down the old ways so that the newness can come in. There's that meme or whatever. Oh, I'm getting waxed on my new journal. There's that meme that says, you know, I don't know what it says. Okay, moving on. Okay, shh. Okay. Okay, Spirit, any more messages to come out with the Tower? Clem. Any more messages, Spirit, to come out with the Tower, please? Spirit, any messages, more messages to come out with the Tower. Okay. I swear when I shuffle, it's like that's when all these messages come in. So with this Scorpio moon, some of you need to release this fear that is surrounded. I don't know why it keeps coming up with this Tower and this. It's like fear, fear, fear. It's like, please just let it go. I know it's like easier said than done, but for some of you, that is like what actually needs to be released. And it's not just fear about like the world situation. If you have fear inside of you, that's lacking trust. It's lacking love. So any way that you can bring more trust and love into your life, more faith, connection to Spirit, if that's going out in nature, if that's meditating, if that's exercising, whatever gets your, you know, being in a place of less anxiety, less fear, let's do that because it's really going to help you, okay? Transforming fear, getting rid of this fear structure. Everything in our society is seriously based on fear right now. Like just... Clem is eating my tarot boxes. You know, I was seeing, it was like something on Facebook, like, you know, we're put into school and we're taught fear, like if we don't get good grades, this is what will happen. If we go into a career and we fail, you know, it's like fear of failure, fear of being outcasted, of not belonging in society. Like all of this stuff is literally what is being torn down. This is not working anymore for where we're at, where we're going, okay? So look at it in your own life. Where does that exist? Okay, Spirit. Okay. Yeah, so 9 of Swords, okay? It's anxiety, fear all day long. This is nightmares, the card of nightmares. This is waking up in the middle of the night because you just have so much fear, stress, and worry and anxiety about the future, about where you are now. Okay, so some of you are probably feeling that, all right? Time to breathe out. It's time to release, and it's time to feel the joys again. And where Venus is retrograding, that's going to make a huge difference. I really, for the people that are struggling with this type of fear and stress and anxiety going into the next cycle here, look to where your Venus is, not where your Venus is, to where Venus is retrograding in your chart right now, okay? And that will show you where I think you will find a lot of the love, trust, joy that you need more of in your life, okay? I don't know why I keep saying okay, like I'm a doctor or something. It's like, who am I? Oh my gosh, okay. Oh my. Okay, so the moon coming out. Of course, it's so funny. I've watched like a couple other readings this week and like the moon has been in every reading. The Tower and the moon, these uncertain times, okay? Neptune is in Pisces right now. That is literally like the moon. That's it. That's the energy right there, okay? It's like about having this kind of, it's not being disillusioned. I'm not going to say as far as that. It's just like right now we don't really have the answers. Like we are kind of in the dark, okay? But being in the dark, we have a choice also. I kind of look at these like the two wolves, okay? Which wolf will you feed? The one with love, the one with fear, okay? You can look at the moon in the darkness and think it's scary, or you can step into it and own it, because we all have darkness. We all are part of that, okay? So learning how to attune to the moon as well and see the lessons there. And again, with the moon, coming out with this full moon happening. I mean, I just feel like this last super moon is really it, you guys. There's going to be so much happening in the next couple weeks, like from now till August. I just feel like, and it's good. I feel so like excited, and like, you know, things might get like a little scary and there might be all this unexpected stuff, but I just know it's going to be for the best, okay? And then the Chariot coming out, and not to mention, these are all these major arcanas, and we had a lot of major arcanas last week too, I feel like, in just like the short reading. Okay, Tower, yeah, anxiety, fear, coming into a more balanced place so that we can move forward. Chariot is movement for sure. Chariot is success and victory as well. That's how I see it. But it's like really having there it is again, the polarity, okay? The black and the white. It's like being focused, being balanced, knowing where we want to go, you know? Like the horses, not the horses, sometimes it's horses, but they're not in control, okay? He's directing them, and it's through this clear channel. When we do our work, it's like we are one with the Chariot, okay? Like we are powering the Chariot with our own clarity and power. That's how it moves, okay? So this destruction, this Tower breaking down this Nine of Swords, okay? Oops, going the wrong way. And also just more confirmation here. This is right at the top of the reading, this standing stone. You're right where you need to be. Destructing all this, okay? And then the Nine of Swords. And the road, this is going to cause, you know, when any type of Tower energy happens, it causes confusion. Okay, I know you're doing a good job. It causes this place where we kind of have to, we are blinded almost, like we can't see clearly, so we have to just choose. Are we going to put in our energy into love or fear right now? Because there's really no real, like, choice to be made, because we have to get right within ourselves before the Chariot will start moving. And I feel like this Chariot is like more toward August, okay? I honestly feel pretty good about this reading right now. I don't know if I even want to see if there's any more cards that want to come out, but then at the same time, I'm kind of like, maybe I do. Okay, let's clarify the moon. Yeah, I don't really feel anything else wanting to come out, you guys. Okay, so I'll leave you with that. I hope that this was helpful or reassuring a little bit. And like I said, if you guys want to know a little bit more about your charts, if you're just like need help, or, you know, just even be pointed in the direction of where you should be looking, please let me know. I am a huge advocate for everybody like really getting to know their natal charts. And don't be afraid to reach out and ask, okay? All right, guys, so take it easy. It's, what day is it, Wednesday? Yeah, and have a good Mother's Day weekend, and I'll be in touch. Bye, guys.